Zach,
Hiya.
thanks very much for doing this.
No worries.
So Zach, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Where did you grow up?
I am originally from United Arab Emirates, and I grew up in obviously United Arab Emirates, known as Dubai, and I born in Abu Dhabi, and yeah, grew up in Abu Dhabi.
So what was growing up like for you?
Growing up was really, really hard, to be honest. Growing up on your mum and dad are divorced when I was 6 months old. I was really young. I was going from houses to houses between uncles. My dad was vanished, my mum went away. So growing up was really hard not to have both parents in the same house celebrating all kind of like Eid, all these big celebrations, and yeah, that was like the hardest things as a child to grow up.
So you lived with your father growing up?
Basically, first I lived with my grandma because I was I was 6 months old, and then when my dad got married, my dad would be introduced to my stepmother, and the life with my dad was really, really hard. My dad started beating me up, and me and my brother with wires and belts, and it was even when I'm actually watching back my story, I just feel sad for that person who's going through that. Like, who's on earth that in his mind that he had his child and beaten them, locked them on the doors in the living room, beating them with wires, belts. It was painful even to speak about it. Like, I was bleeding just because I was like poor in school. If I was poor in school, he could come and sit down with me and go, come on kid, let's help me out. He didn't have no time for us if I break something. So me and my brother, we didn't have a relationship with my dad. I've never even remember I've said to him, I love you, Dad. Or I can't remember spending quality time with him. He just he got up in the morning at 6 o'clock. He wakes for the Air Force, so he wakes, goes in, we'll go to school, comes back, for example, 2-3 o'clock, and then he goes to sleep for 2 hours, and then he goes out again. And so there's no relationship with the kids. He doesn't take us out like a normal family, you know what I mean? Even for like a little walk in the park or things, even like it's just the normal things as a family will do. I've never experienced that when I was young, but my mum used to come and go. I think my mum used to come between on and off for about every 2 years, because my mum married another person and got like my little half sister, but my mum was full of love. My mum was like, I think my mum had to make a really hard decision can't even say it, decision to make that decision, because my dad was he used to beat her up and stuff like that, even when she was pregnant with me. So he said to her, and the law at that moment in time in 1989, when the month I born, it wasn't as strong as now. So he told her, if you want a divorce, give me the kids custody, and my mum had to run away. You know what I mean?
Where did she end up living?
She went to Dubai. She went to Dubai and ended up meeting this guy, and she got my sister, and yeah.
How do you think your mum being away from you affected you mentally?
Oh my God, really? We're talking about maybe 95%. 95%, because the father is not there, and this that, how do you say it, in your life as a child. You have nothing. All we had was our grandma, and we don't see our grandma till every weekend. And having my mum was in my life, but it wasn't every 3 years, so she wasn't like in my life, but she was like every time she comes and see us and stuff like that. We used to cry as a kid. Oh my God, we used to just wait hours and hours. And we used to go, and my mum, I remember, this is really a really sad thing. I remember my mum was driving from Abu Dhabi to Dubai. It's only 2 hours. My mum was asking me and my brother questions, and my grandma told us not to tell her if my dad was beating us up. And she said, "Does your dad beat you up?" And me and my brother, we looked at each other and we just said, "No." And she said to me, "Just tell me the truth, I'm not going to say nothing." And I said, "Yeah." My mum drove for like literally an hour crying while she was driving. And it just must be hard for her to make that decision, and must be hard for us to be in the middle as kids. And it was just because there is no love. I mean, you know what I mean? We lacked of love. We were just surrounded between like uncles. My uncle used to take us to Dubai, to like Dubai land. We had something called how to say it? The World Village, I think, still there. We used to go there. We used to have fun. There's something called Dreamland. We used to go. It's like a swimming park. My uncle used to take us between now and then, and I think all his brother felt sorry for us, and because we didn't have no one. Like my mum's family, it's far away, so all we had is my dad's family. But yeah, it was really hard. Me and my brother used to cry to sleep. We were only like 8-9 years old, and we was just a baby. We cried to sleep. We used to. This is a really funny story, and I'm not going to make it really sad. Me and my brother, we used to just chat, and laugh at 8 o'clock at the night. We were meant to be 8 o'clock in bed, and next minute, my stepbrother opened the door. "Are you two sleeping?" And we pretend to be sleeping. So close the door, and we just. It was just.
So you and your brother, do you think, helped each other out, get through?
Yeah, me and my brother, we were just like, we had no one together. It was very hard for us.
Each other, you had each other.
We had each other. We fed each other. We went to school together. We dressed like the same clothes. We were just all the time together regarding like. You guys have Christmas here, but in our country we have Eid. Eid is like a very big celebration. You have to wear like really nice clothes and stuff. People give you like, they don't give you presents, they give you money and stuff like that when you're kids. And yeah, we used to fight as normal brothers do. But yeah, me and him, we just been through hell. Yeah.
So how did you end up in the UK?
So basically, I ended up in the UK. Is basically my mum opened like a massive company in Dubai, and my mum started being like very popular. And me and my brother were just turning 15. I was turning 15, and my brother was turning 16, and we were just so poor in school. Like our marks were so bad, and my mum said, "Okay, we're gonna try to buy schools like private ones. None of us will take us because our education was very, very poor, because we have not been looked after when we were young. It become like we have to start all over again from the beginning." And then she said the only way we could do it is we'll have to run to London. She goes, "Okay, just get the passport of your dad, and we'll just say that we're gonna go to Saudi Arabia to do this little prayer that when they go all like the Muslims, and then we'll do it." And then I remember we booked all the tickets and everything. I remember we were going to Dubai airport, and then we were really scared. And then once we basically left the country, we were going, "Yes, we left!" And then we went straight to Bath. I was 15. We went to a private, not school. It's called Bath Academy. It's still existing, and we had like a private accommodation. It's kind of like the real life started. Freedom. We're allowed to leave the house. We're allowed to go and experience life. We're allowed to make mistakes. We're allowed, because I know every parent doesn't want kids to get into trouble or do mistakes. But if you can't make normal mistakes in life, you will never learn from it. You know what I mean? And we were just like learning through everything. I remember the first week. Me and my brother, when we arrived in England, my mum gave me and my brother £500. 2 days later, I said, "So we need more money." "What did you do with £500? I said, "I got telly, I got vitamins, I got this, I got fridge." She goes to me, "Where the fuck do you think you are?"
Did your dad
Because
not know?
you, no more money for you. Do you think money grows in trees? So yeah, it was. I remember, yeah, and then I remember we were going to school. We made friends. Kind of was new, even being around like girls and stuff like that. And it was just nice to be around people like from different culture as well. People learning from you, you're learning from them, and we used to come together as well, cooking our culture food. But yeah, it was nice experience.
How did you learn the language here?
Oh, well, when I finished, I was 1 year in Bath Academy, and when I finished, I wasn't that good, you know what I mean? But when I was in Liverpool, I think that's at the end of. Is that okay? Because
that's fine.
that comes towards Asylum link when I've read English.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Asylum link. So when you come over, you had to claim asylum, basically. Didn't you?
I could. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So tell us about that. You know what?
How it went and how it went.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when we finished, like, obviously living in Bath and graduated, my mum had a problem with the government and stuff like that. And we moved back to my mum. My mum used to live in Chelsea. We moved with my mum, and then we moved to another part. We moved to different houses. And then we had to isolate because my mum was writing political article against the country, and it was very risky. She got threatened that his kids is going to be killed and stuff like that. So we were just being isolated and doing nothing, and it was like isolating from 2015 till 2009. Not even, we've been out once or twice, or maybe I'll say maybe 10 times in that amount of time. And I remember, well, I knew I was gay when I was like 12 years old. Well, you knew when you were gay, but obviously you're young, but you didn't know how serious is that, or you don't know what you're doing because you're coming from a different culture that you don't see these people.
How serious is it in UAE? Sorry.
It's in Dubai. It's up to 8 years in jail for being gay, and in Abu Dhabi it's up to 14 years in jail. A lot of people saying it's not as bad or as not as you think it is, but if you are from this country, like from the country, and you've got a massive family that it's like thousands of them, and for me, as growing up, I was a very confident gay man. It's not going to be obviously safe for me, and I'm not willing to be someone that I'm not, just to keep myself short.
Of course.
But so yeah, around 12 and yeah, you know, when you're young, you have like your little face kiss and stuff like that. But when I was 17, I realised that I was really, really, really scared, and I was going, shit, I am gay. So I wrote a massive letter to a psychic doctor, and I said to her, please help me. I need to become straight. I will do everything that I can. I need to do this for my family. I need to do for this, for everything. I could not do it. 2 days later, my mum's laptop broke. So she took me to her laptop, 8 o'clock in the morning, and she came across the letter. Early in the morning, beat me up. First thing she said, what's my family's gonna say? It was a really heartbreaking thing because I don't want to upset my mum, and I don't want to upset anyone, and I promised her, and I was crying. I was only 17 years old, and I said to her, I'll do everything that I can to absolutely make you proud because I love you. And my mum was like, she used to cook for us. My mum was like, our life has changed even when we are isolated. Me and my mum, my brother, our relationship was absolutely good. And then about a year and a half later, she found me that I was talking to a boy, and then she didn't say nothing. My brother woke me up. She goes to me, she found out, and then I went to the kitchen, and then she slapped me. She said to me, I said to her, why can't you accept me as I am? And she said, what you become? I said to her, Mum, what I am? She said, I wouldn't have a case. I said to her, fine. 20 minutes later, grabbed a bottle of water, ran away, went to the police station, they couldn't do nothing. I couldn't speak English that well. They couldn't believe my story. And then one of her friends came to me, and she's basically gave me, I think she gave me £180 in my pocket. I ran away with nothing, no paper to prove who I am or nothing. And then she took me, I think, to Primark and got me like some trackies and stuff. And then she goes to me, and she put me in a guest house for 2 days, and she goes to me, think about it. 2 days later, I said, I'm not coming back, because she said, I'm going to send you back to my dad. And then that's a no-no for me. I was homeless in London for a month. I used to sneak on a squat, and I met a few people. I used to hang around with them. Like, I haven't touched any drugs or anything, because at that moment in time, it's just it's not my thing. You know, how I wasn't drinking as well or nothing. I was only like the company. You know what I mean?
How easy could that have been, though, to easily go down that route?
I think because of where I come from.
That's how.
I only started drinking when I came to Liverpool. Fucking hell.
Everybody drinks when they come to Liverpool.
At that moment of time, it wasn't my thing, and I was going, no, and I'm not doing it. And at that moment, I was fresh. I was like, I just wanted to be safe. And then after 1 month, my friend came around, and she goes to me, can't live like this. Your mum's got a massive house and stuff like that. Come on, let's go and sort you out. Went all the way to Croydon. Croydon was closed, where you claim asylum. Booked me another hotel the next day. They couldn't find me on the system because I didn't like Salah on my name. Right. So they found me on the system because I came legally in the country by Fly Emirates.
Yeah.
Verified who I am. So they showed me pictures and everything, and then they said they done full screen, and then they said do you need the support? I said, yeah, of course I do. I've got nothing on me. Moved me to Liverpool, and my first house was in Tubrick. It was in Dorset House, actually, and excuse me. And then basically I had a full interview. They said to me, you're gonna have 2 weeks, a letter to say that you're gonna stay in Liverpool or Manchester. And guess what? I hated everything about Liverpool, the accent, because I didn't know no one. I got on the bus, and I had this little girl goes, you know what I mean? I was going, no! And then, now look at me now, and you're on a Wisconsin. So I went for an interview. I remember this lady called Lisa. I will never forget her name. This person, you go through an interview, and this person makes a decision based off what they actually believe.
Yeah.
Your story, and they could actually refuse your case, make you destitute, or they could actually say, okay, this is your real story. My story, she didn't believe anything. She didn't believe anything. She didn't believe I was from UAE. She didn't believe I was gay. She didn't believe everything. And then all the paper came back from London, and then it came back and says, okay, he's from Dubai, blah blah blah. And then we went to court, and then she said, okay, he's not gay. I was going, oh my god, what do you want me to do to prove that? So it's I wasn't out. I wasn't I was so scared. I even went to a GP by Tubrick, and this is really sound crazy. I opened my arm to the doctor, and I said, can you inject me with anything to make me straight, because I hate myself. And she goes to me, I think you need to go through counselling. And I came across this organisation called the State Centre, and they're absolutely amazing. I went for 8-month counselling, and then bloody year later on, I was in Liverpool First Gay Pride. I was on the telly, I was on the paper, I was in the Echo.
So I mean, how do you prove you're gay? You know, that's ridiculous.
It sounds crazy, but I think I think I was involved with a lot of LGBT activists and stuff like that. I was in a relationship. I was seeing someone. I met someone. It was very hard for him as well, because I wasn't settled in the country. Ended up splitting up, and then from 2000, and so I claimed some 2009.
Just to tell the viewers, you have to prove that you can't go back to your country because you fear persecution.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So they're aware, and we gathered all the information, all the things that to prove what has been happening.
Yeah.
And the problem is, they said I could go back home, pretend that I'll be straight, and maybe practice my gay life in secret. and that was like, we're talking back in 2011. And I was going to myself, and then I was exhausted, I was tired, I've been homeless, I've been stranded. I said to my solicitor, let them send me home. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. What where are we going to go in life?
You give up.
I can't have just given up,
Yeah.
and I'm mentally exhausted. So he goes, no, I believe in your story. I remember he sent all my pride for the last 3 years, being on the news and everything, all the documents. A month later, I think, I went to my friend's 40th on Sunday, and then on Monday at 9 o'clock there was about 80 missed calls. And then I've looked at my email and it goes, Zach, congratulations, I'm staying at immigration status. Walking out, I was walking outside the house, I was going, freedom, Netherlands. It was the most happiest day. It was, I think it was the 7th or the 8th of September when I got to 2012. And then yeah, a month later, I kind of just moved to my friend's house, she's got like another house to rent, and applied for Barclays, and I got the job.
Excellent. Yeah, so it was all up from there then. It was all
all
going well.
Just to let you know as well, before applying for Barclays, I was volunteering for Asylum for about 2.5 years. They absolutely educated me. They basically gave me the skills, doing admin, learning to be professional, doing a roadshow, going to school, educating people, going to university, sharing different asylum seekers' stories, refugees, and I've learned a lot. And because I was really scared, that's why I'm coming out through it, because I'm really scared about opening up to like people from the same culture to me. I've never had like Arabic friends, so when I've learned English, all my friends were English. I picked up kind of like the Scout slang and stuff, but that's how I've learned English, is basically through Asylum Link, and as well through Barclays. Yeah.
So you're not there now, though, are you?
No, I've left in 2015. Yeah.
So you've had a few jobs since then.
Yeah, I worked after that. I moved to London. I worked as a hairdresser. Hated it. I felt overqualified. I moved back to Liverpool, and then I worked for Cozy Club restaurant, a Liverpool one.
Yeah.
Worked myself up, loved it, and then I had enough, and then I had a career break. I was helping like a charity for a year, and then I applied for the mental health, and I was doing MVQs and stuff like that. And then I heard the bad news. Then that's when the shock happened. It's I think, before the mental health, that's why I've done it. When I was working in Cozy Club, I think I was, I can't believe I'm going to say that, but I'm going to say it in a calm way. I was working till 11:30, and I was living with my friends, with my two best friends and her mum, and I was on my way back to the house, because I think my birthday was the day after, and she goes to me, Zach, my friends will say to me, Zach, the police has been to our house looking for you. I said, I've never been arrested. And she goes to me, no, it's serious. I thought they were winding me up because my birthday's tomorrow, so I thought, you know what, they might wind me up. Yeah. I said, oh, they fucking ignored it. So I just got into the house, and then the mum was literally by the door. She gave me, she goes, no, literally, ring this number, it's 0151. So, and I said, please, 0151, are you winding me up now more? So I couldn't take it seriously. Spoken to them, this guy who looks like he sounded like in his 70s, goes, we are from the police transport, we're going to need to come and see you. He said, I'll be in the house 15 minutes. Couldn't believe anything. I thought one of her friends wanted me up. I swear to God. 2 minutes, about 15 minutes later, they came in. 2 police officers, sit down, and sat me down. We've got news about your brother. I said, my brother? I've never seen him in 8 years. I said, do you know your brother Mohammed? He said, yeah. He said, he's unfortunately jumped in front of a train and killed himself this morning. I was crying, and I was just going, Oh my god! And then I started blaming my mom and stuff like that, and because why would you do that? I said, why are you coming to me then? Why are you not going to me, mom? And then they were looking at me like that, and then the police officer had to go to the car for like 1 hour. Came back again, and I goes, he was like, what's your mom's small name? What's your date of birth? And I told him. Goes, I'm sorry, your mom died last year in January, and she also done the same. My heart fell apart. I was in my mate's mom's legs crying for like 45 minutes while the police are just sobbing. They don't know what to say. It was a shock. At that moment in time, I went numb. I couldn't feel my hand, couldn't think, couldn't.
How long previous was it that your mum had?
About a year.
A year. So why do you think nobody told you about that?
It's just because I didn't have the contact with my father and with my brother. And my brother basically went to a mosque and said, "My mum died. Right. Can we bury her?" So they just took the coroner took everything and buried her. So and I remember after 45 minutes, my heart was broken, and he said, "I think we need to give you some time on your own." I was going, fucking some time on my own. I was going, yeah. And then they left. They gave me all these informations. I didn't know what's coroner. Never heard that name before. Yeah. Didn't know anything about anything. And it was quite hard. It was quite scary as well. And then they left. And then what I've done is I remember finding like a bottle of vodka, but there is only a little bit left.
Yeah.
And that little bit left, I just sat on the bed writing to let my friends know, because I didn't have the family, I didn't know who to ring. It was late, it was nearly 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock. So the best thing to do is write a big status on Facebook and tell exactly what happened. And I've told them, and I just sitting there between 2 o'clock and around 4 o'clock. I just had 1 glass of vodka and Diet Coke, and couldn't sleep, fell asleep, and I woke up, and an hour later I was going, oh, I'm late for work, and then I've just remembered my mum's dead, my brother's dead, and it was just quiet. My phone went crazy. My friends had to come from work, and they gave me a hug, goes, well, we need to get you out the house, you can't just sit there. And I was just sitting there, and I remember we went somewhere. I think we went some like the cabin or somewhere. Like I think we went somewhere, and it was quite shocking. It was, oh my god! Like even now talking about it, even like you feel like I think the amount of time that I talked about it, usually like I cry, but I'm absolutely handling it very well, because you go to therapy, but. It was really shock, and it just made me feel, okay, that's the only person that I love, and I had hope one day that I'll speak to her. She's gone. So, yeah.
Well done, by the way. You're doing really well talking about it.
No.
Do you ever think about why they both might have done it?
I think my mum done it. Why? I think maybe she got bankrupt. My mum lost everything, lost her money maybe. My mum was in debt a lot. She haven't seen her daughter for since from 2004 to 2016. My mum hasn't seen no one. She was isolated. She used to pull her hair out, so she was really going through a lot. But in our culture at that moment in time, you don't believe in mental health. You believe that you're actually going to sort yourself between you and yourself. And look, the result. This is what ended up.
This is why mental health awareness is so important.
That's what people need to understand. That even normal people have and you have anxiety. That's mental health. You know what I mean? You feel like a shit day today. That's mental health. But feeling like you're gonna sort this out to deal on your own, it will escalate into literally a big thing.
So how
That's-
did you deal with it though? Did you go and see therapy?
This is what I done basically. I didn't dealt with it very well at all. After 2 weeks, I decided to go back to work, and I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna keep myself busy and work." And I worked really, really hard, and then one day, I done something stupid, and that is basically made me ended up in the hospital. I collapsed. It was very scary. It's not like I've decided to do it. I think we were all in a club, and this guy, I said to him, just give me something that just get me mind off, and he just put some liquid in my drinks, and I just collapsed.
You've done it to block the pain, basically.
I
didn't you?
just like, I think kind of just like, because of that moment of time, I was just tired. It's all gone.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Emotionally drained.
It's all gone now. There's no point to just go back.
Yeah.
And then after that, I picked myself up. I ended up in a hospital, and I ended up in a hospital, and then I've only stayed there for like a week, and they put me on antidepressants. Took myself off it. I said, you know what, I will deal this on my own. And I've just kept working. I worked so hard until about 2.5 years ago, I ended up very bad. I exploded, because I think when you're not dealing with your emotional, and you're not dealing with how you're feeling, and you're not dealing with the pain, and I wasn't in anything, and that's when your body react.
You can't bottle things up, can you?
That you can't, and everyone thinks they're absolutely going to be strong in their own, and a lot of people think, even people are absolutely going, I don't feel well, or I'm going to end up harming myself. Or, a lot of people have said to me, are you crying for help? And so, yeah, maybe I'm crying for help, maybe because I want you to recognise that I don't want to do anything stupid for you to recognise that what you could have done to save me. So,
did you feel suicidal?
I did, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to say this, but obviously, a lot of people know that, but I unfortunately, I did try to commit suicide for the last 2 years about 103 times. I didn't count it. I had to go to my GP and get these documents to send it to another team. It was really hard. But it was really pretty, not last year before, it was really bad. It was, I was like literally, I was like a really bad, but last year was going a little bit better, but this year is absolutely getting slowly well, because I am literally under a really, really good team.
That's good to hear. It's good that there's help out there. So have you been diagnosed with?
I've been diagnosed with emotional unstable personality disorder, which means that it's unhealed trauma, and it's you feel abandoned, you feel alone, you feel people don't care about you, you feel like you always do certain behaviour things to get attention from people. So it's a lot.
It affects how you think, doesn't it? How you feel and how you interact with people, basically, doesn't it?
And when you say to people you've got personality disorder, people thinking you've got multiple personality. That's a wrong description of this diagnosis. But and I've been given like a really, really special team. And I've been seeing my therapy now since October.
It's good that it's helping, but do you think that
I wasn't with the right team at the beginning? That it wasn't, and that's why I ended up really bad. Right. And I think as well, I think it's the funding from the country regarding mental health is not really enough, and that's why. It's everything is very slow. Everything is too late. Everything takes time. It's just like because everyone's we're short of staff, we're short of this, we're short of that, and we ended up losing a lot of people. And till I was lucky enough, I was referred last year in, when was it? It was in May. Excuse me. sorry, it was April, and I didn't get assessed till May, at the end of May, June, and I wasn't accepted till August. So
Yeah,
it's a process.
Yeah.
And but in the beginning, it was really hard. They were trying to get to know me, trying to get to know how we could help and how I think and stuff like that. And
Do you think this affects, when you start a relationship now? Do you think you kind of on your guard? You have your guard up now because of what you've suffered?
well, basically, at the moment, I would not have a relationship at the moment. That's not my priority at the moment, because I don't think it'll be fair to another person to absolutely be in a relationship. You see a lot of people who goes, oh my god, maybe I need a relationship, maybe this will help me out, maybe this will get me through that. No, till you're well enough and you're recovered and you feel like you could have a coping skills and stuff like that, that's when you could absolutely have a really good life. But at the moment, I it's not been fair on someone else. You know what I mean?
That's quite brave of you to say that and admit that, and it's it's good to hear you say that. So do you speak to anyone back at home now?
No. I did speak. My brother actually found me on Facebook years ago, but when I tried to get a hold of them to bury my brother who passed away, the UAE government had to go all the way to London to see if I could send the body back to my dad to know that his son is dead. I didn't get anything in response, so I had to bury him. So the council paid half, and I paid half it myself. And I remember there was only 7 people turned up in the funeral, and it was very sad. And then one day he texted me, goes to be the police in our villa, and then I've never heard from him since. He blocked me.
Okay, you know what? Let's. What's your plans for the future, Zach? Let's.
To be honest, I am currently focused being a TikTok creator. Obviously, I love doing it. I love doing inspire on other people. I want to focus on my health first.
Yeah.
I want to focus of how to progress. I want to focus about how to see life the way other people see it, not the way I see it. Because the way I see it is just a trauma and everything. I want to have a brighter life. My dream, obviously, to be famous, and that's always my dream. And but regarding jobs, I was thinking to apply for. By the way, I worked in mental health, but I'm having a career break to look after my mental health.
Yeah.
So I can't help someone else, before helping them.
But
career-wise, I want to obviously work in Virgin Atlantic. That'll be something there.
Yeah, that would.
Travel the world and get to know different culture.
Yeah, something I wish that I'd done. Can you give advice to anyone that is possibly scared to come out as gay? Because obviously you've had it hard because of where you grew up, and that must have been very difficult, but there's still people scared to come out here in the UK.
Yeah.
Is there any advice that you could give to them?
I think the best advice is basically search online for any speak to your GP first. I think that will be the best option. Book an appointment with GP. You don't have to say to us, just say I want to speak to a GP regarding something to do with this, and then all you could do and ask them, how would you help me to be that confident to accept who I am? And obviously they will guide you through organisations that have absolutely counselling. And show you and maybe try and love yourself and build up your confidence, because in this society, when you're not out, you see all these people that you hang around, and then you're going to be around them, and then imagine if they find out you're gay, then they're going to be picking on you.
That's why
that
it's very
probably
difficult.
is the wrong people that you hang around with, but I think find an organisation, try maybe learn to be with people that are absolutely struggling with coming out. That will help. And
so it's your circle, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and basically, I found this group, and basically it was amazing. But I haven't been for like a couple of months. Those people lost their loved one in suicide, and they meet all once a month, and it's just those stories that they tell. It's absolutely, it just makes you feel that you're not the only person in this world going through this.
Sharing definitely helps, doesn't it?
Of course.
That's why I do this, to help, share different backgrounds, different stories. If this channel helps one person, then job done for me.
Brilliant.
Another one, a lot of people have protested against immigrants seeking asylum in the UK. You do see that quite a bit. A message to them people, like,
to be honest, I've already done a message on TikTok. I don't blame what these 2 people or 3 people or a couple of people, what they've done is basically grooming the girls and stuff like that. This is not acceptable in any bloody country in this world when you do that. It's not acceptable to do nothing like that, and I completely understand where you're coming from. But what about that other people who hasn't done nothing? So they are actually getting the blame for. So obviously everyone reacts differently, and the group of people, they were really angry. But I think people who's absolutely done these horrible stuff, they should be going through an investigation and not be allowed to be around here, because if they doing these things here, what they're going to do then next. But otherwise, I just feel like there's another people who are very genuine, that really need help, they really need to be saved.
Like yourself.
Like, look at me now. Look at me, guys. I'm the new one of Scousers here.
But so what Zach's going on about there is, there was an instance in Liverpool where a illegal immigrant, maybe, seeking asylum in a hotel, wasn't he, in Liverpool? And he was found grooming children.
Seen that video.
There was a large protest outside this hotel with angry people.
Correct.
But they're putting that one person, that one act, under the whole asylum umbrella now, aren't they?
You know what? I think it wasn't even one person, to be honest. And I will completely understand where they come. I don't think it's one person. There's a few people have done it. People have done it in the park as well, like that. So I really completely understand where they're coming from. But being in a police van is not going to stop anything.
Yeah, I agree.
That police van is saving your life and stuff like that. The only thing I think should have done, the police had done full investigation about what's going on, how it's done, why it's done, and why they've done it. Follow the process, and literally, and that's how they absolutely people. That's what should have done. But you know what I mean.
So basically, don't let that one person or 2 people, whatever
2 people
it is,
or 3 people
affect,
have you know what I mean. Like, can I be honest with you? Half of the people on the Royal are foreign. Half of the people are
saving
like
lives.
refugee status, people saving your ma, your grandma, your kids, and everything.
I totally agree.
Immigration. You know what I mean? You go in every department. All of them. People even in health and social care, most of them are absolute refugee status. And people in care home, and people in everywhere, all of them are most of them.
So just think before you act.
So it's just like, I just don't think it's fair to another people, but I completely understand where they're coming from.
I'm with you on that.
People react crazy, you know what I mean?
And I can get why they were angry, but don't put them all under that umbrella. One last question, Zach.
I know it is.
I always ask, if you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
3 wishes is, first is travel the world. Second, that was a really hard question. Another question. To share my story and write a book.
I'd read that.
And third, make myself proud.
I think you've made yourself proud.
No, it is.
But thanks very much for sharing your story. Absolutely brilliant story. Appreciate your time, Zach.
No, thank you.
Thank you.